You know, there's nothing going on. Jim's not going to be here today. You got me. And so far, there's only 4 of us. And there's Vicente.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
How's everything? Candies. Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Still working.
Still working. Keeps working and working. Thank you.
He took mice. Why? You snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose.
I was worried about you.
I was like,
What's going on?
You didn't check. I gave a heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't tell you.
I visited
He didn't tell
the
you.
web page a couple of times and nothing.
Oh no! I got a.
This week the green display
Yeah.
was delivered.
Yeah.
Because I asked for
Yeah,
that.
he's got his too. Yeah. No, I got.
Now I need to make the wood case.
I got this contract job at GE.
I like to hide my watch.
Yeah. I told you the 2 I got.
We are working until 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, we were up
We
pretty
really
late.
are watching close to the computer, a big one.
That's
I
what's
say, go to sleep.
I know it's just like
An
no
alarm or
sleep.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
You have a
were.
buzzer or something in your.
I don't have a
design?
buzzer in there. Yeah,
It would be
you can
nice
put
to-
one in there.
To specify some.
Yeah, it's just an ESP 8266.
Yeah, you could easily.
You
Yeah,
can
it's
buy her a
great.
buzzer in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
but I mean, how you translate your Google schedule, your Google.
yeah, calendar or something,
Calendar and
and
something
updated to there. Oh
Right.
yeah.
An alarm in your.
It's all doable. It's just time. I will tell you that both of mine I put the one out in the garage. I love it. Absolutely love it because you're working out. It's like what time is it? What time? I gotta go. So and it's an exactly on time. It's perfect on time. It is awesome and it's easy to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you just glance up and it's digital. It's there because I used to have a analog clock in there. Just a little cheap $4 thing I bought somewhere, just stuck it on the wall, and it's like it didn't keep time very well anyway. And so I was like, I look at that and I was like, okay, I need to be more precise. It's like I take my phone out, look at my phone, but it's nice to have that just up there.
Yeah, I've just got one sitting right on the desk, just right there.
It's because when you're working with this stuff, sometimes time just flies. Like, oh my god.
I'm still running the MQTT code on it as well,
Yeah.
but I don't use it for anything. It's just a clock,
Yeah.
I designed a real-time clock with the Arduino controller 80 mega 328, but the PD model that works at very low power.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I am using a CR2032 coin battery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the estimation is that we will be working for more than a year.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And it's showing every second, it's showing the LEDs like a flash.
Oh, okay.
And
You
it's still
paused
working.
it. You paused
And
it.
I'm checking the time every day, how many seconds it's sleeping or
Right.
something. Because I attach a crystal of 32,000.
Okay, right. 32. Yeah, 30. Let's kill
It's
it.
working perfect. I spend a lot of time turning off all the stuff inside the microcontroller to reach the minimum drain power.
Right. So how are you? Is it always displaying the time?
Every second.
Oh, yeah, every second.
But
So,
it's a flash of.
but you just barely. You don't even notice
It's a
it.
flash of 50 microseconds or something, but you can see the binary,
Yeah. So the duty cycle is like a certain. It's
Very
like
short,
I remember playing with duty cycles and trying
But
to
you can
get it
change
down
it.
so you can't see. I can't really. Oh, I can see a little bit, but
I have a development board from Texas Instrument.
oh,
that works with the Code Composer Studio and has a functionality that estimate you choose the battery, how many batteries,
right,
and
right.
it tells you how long will your device will work.
Right.
Well, I put 2 cables out of the board and made like a benchtop
Like current.
power source
Yeah.
for and I every time I change something I check how long will it last now. Okay, 10 more days. Okay, so let me turn analog converter comparator. You need to find out how to shut down everything.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
controller, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
I have a picture of the. I bought in Amazon an enclosure to make it looks nice. The
You gotta post it.
the energy trace is the technology of the Texas Instrument. It's like a big tank that you drain power from the tank. You cannot measure the I'm making a cylinder of what is going on. The tank is using liquid feeding your device, right? But there's no way to measure this liquid because it's
So small, right? Yeah.
But the big tank
Oh,
is filled with a cup, and the software counts how many cups per unit of time
Right.
he is putting to keep the level of the tank at the same rate. And this is the way he measures the amount of charge or quantity of energy that is going to the device.
Wow, that's weird.
Pretty nice.
That's weird.
You can count 1 nano amp, and you have a graphic of the power drain. It's amazing.
Huh, that's really
They sell the energy trace thing, but cost more than $100. But they also included it in several of their boards that cost $15.
right.
And you can cut or open a jumper and use the power to feed anything outside the board. I did that in Chile. It was my last week project.
Oh, you showed it last week?
This week I was dealing with I bought
You showed it last week here? You
huh?
showed it here last week, or was your last
No,
week
no,
just
no.
home? You just home. Oh, okay.
Like I said,
I was
they've
working
got
with,
thousands
I was
of
working
things.
with solder pass dispenser that use pressure, air pressure,
Right.
and you use your finger something and put little tiny dots in yours. And you adjust the pressure,
Right.
the time,
Right.
and the back pressure to leave the drop. It's amazing. And then I bought a big oven for reflow oven for with different profiles and a window, and it works perfect. Then there is a kit in Amazon for
For the
practice surface mount soldering with a lot of parts and chips. I use it to calibrate everything. It works. Nice.
Wow.
It's another project.
Another project.
Another one is last night I was working in my punch tape reader
yeah.
because I need a software
No.
that create
No,
punch
but
tapes.
he
with
was
laser.
he was actually on WhatsApp helping me with this thing
While he was doing his punch.
while he was
Y'all
doing
was-
other stuff.
We spent a lot of
Guys, I'm
time
up at 2 a.m. in the
sending
morning.
code.
Huh?
This is yesterday.
Oh, that's what yo.
We sending code back. Do this, do that. Doesn't work. This was all night.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were up that late, but I guess we were.
It goes fast. It goes fast, doesn't it?
I knew I was up. I
Yeah.
just didn't know that it was that late.
Yeah. Honey, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
See,
This is the
I-
test of the solder.
Oh, yeah.
oven.
My wife gets off work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't go to bed until much before 3 o'clock anyway.
Right.
So it
Yeah, you
and I'm not up and I'm not awake much before
right.
noon.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
you-
the Texas Instrument board. I put it inside a.
oh yeah, nice box. Yeah, nice enclosure. Yeah. Yeah, I do it the opposite way. My wife sometimes she has to be at work at 5:30 in the morning, so
Right.
I get up with her at 4:30 or 5, and then but
Well,
so try to maximize the time I can play.
This is the battery
we
working.
Oh, that's it.
This is the 80 mega 328 PV, and in the time in minutes and hours. And this is the cell battery. This is the energy trace cable. But there are a couple of diodes.
Yeah, you have to bring that in.
When
That's
you
nice.
plug in your USB port, it works with your power, and when you remove it,
It works.
the battery works.
Yeah.
It's working pretty nice.
I end up watching the 4-year-old grandkid for 2 or 3 hours a day too. Well, she's drop her off at work, and then I get to watch her, and she's my helper. So
Right.
there's a video. Vicente's got a video of her helping. She's helping.
She's helping, huh? How old is she?
She's 4.
This
Hope.
is the real time.
Yeah, what she tried to do is find something that's going to keep her busy for a while. When I have my niece, a 5-year-old, oh my God. And it's like, you're trying to do something, all of a sudden, I got to find something that will keep her busy for an hour.
We drop Patty off at work at 4. We walk around Kroger's for an hour. We hope that she goes to sleep on the drive home,
Yeah.
but usually that doesn't happen.
All right, by the time she gets home, she's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. What's the plan?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where's the robot at, Apple?
That's
Why,
right.
why aren't we playing with the robot?
I'm working this robot also.
Gee whiz, Vicente.
This is the drivers and the battery.
Will you document some of that?
Everything.
You document everything?
Everything.
I haven't seen
Pictures,
anything.
drawings.
I don't.
But I have my
What the heck's going on?
folders and folders and folders. I told him I have.
We're
so-
going to have to do another
I
GitHub
have
tutorial
hundreds and hundreds of projects.
because Vicente has already said how ask
Yeah,
and whatever. We're going to have to because we gotta organize this man better than what he's organized.
I have an air compressor in the garage, but I need a pressure for the past
Oh yeah,
dispenser.
right.
Then I bought a tank. I fill the tank instantly, and use in the basement for hours without the
Right,
compressor
yeah,
noise
right,
there.
exactly.
I've come up with I don't think he ever sleeps.
Sometimes
I don't think he ever sleeps.
He can. He probably can. He's probably restless. He probably goes to bed and lays down and got to get back up.
I didn't finish that project. I need to do this project.
this was yesterday. I use a hoverboard chassis to remove this supports to put them in the wood disc. You know?
Right. So it holds the
wheels.
wheel on. Right. Yeah. Holds the axle. Right.
But this machine can cut aluminum. This is some kind of.
What is that? What is this
This
machine?
is
That's just a radio saw. Oh, okay. Okay. You're not using it there. Okay. Yeah.
This is the reader, the tape.
Oh
reader.
yeah.
Last night, I am sending. I need. This working with the dog. I am using infrared
Oh yeah.
LEDs
Yeah.
in an array and sending
Yeah.
modulated the infrared signal and use a remote control of the TV as receiver
Right.
and through the tape.
That's a piece of cake these days. If you'd invented that, you'd been a rich man.
But I designed a protocol that the receiver don't need to be close to the transmitter.
Right.
I codify every infrared signal of each dial, and it knows when to load the new bike,
Right.
and then you can have a reader in your hand, just play the tape, and the receiver is in the computer. You can use a tiny battery for the transmitter.
Yep.
You ready to see this thing?
I'm learning a lot, huh?
You ready to see it? See if it actually works?
What? This?
This?
Okay, so what is it?
It's a round red robot.
We know Vicente knows what it is, so but the rest of us doesn't.
Actually, if you were here last week, you would know.
This is worse. I know what is not.
Yeah.
So last week I had a bigger platform. It didn't spin right. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. So the idea is this marker here is ID number 0. There's a marker 1 and marker 2. The idea is this will probably end up being like the charging base or the home base.
Right.
And ultimately it needs to go to marker 2. And it needs to find its way back to the home base. So this is a larger project that you've seen the bigger
the video about the chassis.
the bigger round chassis, kind of like what he's
I think the one you had at home. I saw
with
that
with
big
the hub
wheel.
with the hub wheels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is going to eventually move its way onto that
Right.
that project. So anyway, last week I thought I had it working, and we went round and round, and it didn't work. This week I know it works
At home.
on my small table.
It works in the lab.
It works in the lab. We're going to experiment. These are bigger markers too. So the markers that I was using at home,
Oh, you changed something in this.
I did, but I brought them so we can still see.
Okay.
The markers I was using at home were this size.
The camera used the size of the marker to estimate the distance.
Oh.
So
If he put it bigger, maybe it stopped.
it's probably going to stop much shorter because the markers are bigger.
Interesting. Can't release it.
But I'm hoping it'll see them further apart.
Stop shorter means stop before.
Yeah.
Or farther.
Yeah. So right now, if it was this one, it would stop somewhere in this
Right.
neighborhood. That may stop
Right.
back here. I don't know because it's not really calibrated for these markers. Because my table is about like that. So
So I would say if it sees them and it does what it's supposed to do, that's trivial.
well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter where it stops as long as it's close
Yeah.
to
Right.
where it's supposed to be. So I moved everything to the round chassis. It actually is much closer to what we're actually the bigger chassis. And then my original round chassis didn't go in reverse, and I went, crap. So I moved it to another round chassis. So that was fun. But then we had last night, I proposed, what if somebody got in the way of the marker? What if it couldn't see the marker? Originally, it was just doing like a runaway kind of condition. It would just freak out and just either drive and smash into it or spin, or it would just do randomly inappropriate things. So that's what we were working on last night with his help. I've got it so if we block one of them, if it starts going towards the marker and we block it, it should just stop, and then if the obstacle moves out of its way, it should continue on again. And I know it's working with the smaller ones. Can't prove it with the big ones yet. So doesn't really matter where this starts necessarily. And I'm going to start it somewhere close to its marker. So it should spin. It should find. Please let it find that marker.
This is the marker?
It should find that marker.
Is this one?
That's one, yeah.
Show the small one.
Oh, it's running off.
Well, now it saw the big one.
It did see the big one. That's what it was doing. So now it should find 2. You're probably too far from it.
Oh, the duration matter?
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
What?
Gotta pat it on the butt sometimes.
Don't go to the big one.
Found the big one.
Mm-hmm.
We confused it by putting too many.
Okay, stop.
So it stopped. So now it should come back and find number 1 again.
There.
And just make it a little easier on it. Maybe we'll make it a little easier on it. Man, it has problems.
Is the orientation or what?
Maybe it's the. There it goes. I don't know.
You need to monitor to see what it's seeing. You know, just to see what it's seeing. You know what I mean? So it's like you're sort of blind. You don't really know what it's actually seeing.
You have the target white.
Yeah.
When you do this, the number is negative. Because the Aruco library only have the corners of the Aruco.
Interesting.
And the software is subtracting one corner from the other to estimate the white, you know.
Interesting.
But this is a problem in the script, in the Aruco, not the library by itself. It's the script that creates your tiny messages of where is the Aruco. I mean, it tells you the white and the number, right?
Mm-hmm.
The white is calculated using I mean,
It shouldn't make any difference.
it's not taking care of the corners. I don't know.
It shouldn't make any difference.
Corners.
Let's
Corners
knock these.
have a numeration, you know.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and 4. If you rotate it, you change the numbers. You change the way of.
I had okay.
Try to reproduce the orientation of your experiment at home with the big one.
Okay.
This is this position, right? Look, this.
This is 0.
Okay.
Okay.
I am explaining myself. Or
Well, I know what you're. I see. But that's one.
keep the orientation with the biggest.
You think it wants it to be. Like that? I don't think it matters what the orientation is.
Doesn't matter for the number. It will be always the same number, doesn't matter the rotation. But the corners has a numeration. They are enumerated, the corners, you know.
Okay.
And always the one is the one. It doesn't matter in what position you have the in the image. This is the position of this.
Okay.
Maybe it's too far. It's too far.
Ah.
Gotta find that happy distance where the camera can actually see it.
Yeah, that's what I say. It would be nice if you could actually see, because you might be able to put a, you may be able to put a lens on there and increase the.
That's why I printed them bigger though, because I thought it might have an easier.
Right, distance.
Oh, that was interesting.
What?
It
I
should have
think
gone back
that's the
to that.
robot version of good enough.
That was interesting.
They're just screwing with me.
They're just messing with me.
You need to create messages, you know, to know what
right.
it's doing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the.
Arrow number one found.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving forward. And check.
Yeah, I know. I need to
Happen.
put a screen on it so I can see what it's doing.
Or
Yeah.
send messages by Bluetooth or whatever, or ESP32.
That's the same issue that I ran into when I was doing that IO
You need to
Internet
know
Things stuff.
what's going on in the
Right.
brain of the
Yeah.
individual.
You do. You're exactly right.
I don't know. I don't know about the brain.
You're talking about the
Whatever.
robot's brain, that's yours.
Sometimes my brain.
It's a robot brain.
I think it's working ish.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
It's doing more or less what I want it to do.
You need to put an arrow in your belt
Yeah.
and put a knife in the robot and check that it
Push
stops.
that a little closer. I don't think you can see it. Now, if you block it, see it should stop and go
Yeah, yeah.
and stop
Nice.
and go. So if you walk in front of it, or if somebody walks in front of it, it won't run them over and
Right.
kill them. In theory. But if you block it right now, because I didn't put.
Don't see it there. Move a little forward. There.
It sees it.
What happened? Yeah.
If I didn't put the timeouts in, so if it doesn't see one right now,
We
it'll
continue.
just spin forever. But we had talked about putting some timeouts into it so that it doesn't spin forever. I don't get that. I don't know what it's. See, I think it saw it and then
Huh.
lost it.
yeah.
The PID is good in the follow.
Doing a good job following.
That was that's actually the original code was follow code, and I
You
did.
didn't change the PID parameters.
I didn't change it. It does. It kind of opens up some interesting possibilities though, where you could set up something that would follow one over. Anyway, I was thinking I was a little bit closer, but I guess it's still not quite right.
It's good.
In the right direction.
May help if you stop every eighth of a turn or so it stabilizes the video.
Mm, that may be a problem. I don't know.
I don't think that that's. Other than it maybe not being in focus or something. I haven't actually seen it. If it can see all of them, like if it's sitting on my desk and it can see all of them, it does what it's supposed to do, even when it's spinning. So I don't really think that that's the issue. I think the issue is it can't really see them as well as I want them to be seen.
The camera itself, how many pixels does it have to look at that?
68 by
It's
680.
640 by it's VGA 640 by 480.
480, yeah.
Okay.
But you can choose the resolution interpolate using only one of every 2 pixels to make the computation faster.
Right.
I mean, the frames per second depends on the size of your image.
And this model right now, the model that's running right now, isn't doing video output because you don't need it.
I think it's 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Now, if you reduce the resolution, we go up to 60 frames per second. Will be more faster.
Yeah, but is it necessary? Not really. I mean, 30 frames.
No,
per
your,
second.
your word doesn't change so fast when you
Right,
move slow.
right.
I'm not using the encoders either. It's driving itself. I mean, it's centering more or
No,
less.
but you don't need encoders.
I don't
You
need the
use
encoders.
the radio and the
Yeah,
and the command.
right. I mean, somebody last week said use encoder.
No, you don't need them.
I don't need them. I didn't think I needed them. So I didn't use them. They're on there. I just not use them.
Good.
That's I don't know. Anybody really care? There's all the code.
You?
You put it in big print. Wow.
Mark has wants to see the code for some odd reason, so I printed it out for him. And then I went old school with this one. I wire wrapped most of it. Oh, actually, I'm digging wire wrapping.
wow.
I don't know why we ever use these stupid DuPont cables.
Yeah. Wire wrap it's definitely more stable. But
It's
like,
it's a bit more time consuming, but we're only
Yeah.
talking like seven wires, so 8 wires.
I don't know that it's particularly any more time consuming. I don't know.
Yeah, you got
Well,
a
you gotta-
long
you gotta-
Or
wire.
on the back of your wire wrap
Well,
tool.
yeah, exactly. If you got a mechanical wire, but if you got one that you
I don't. It's
Yeah.
you stick the thing
Yeah.
in there, you pull it down, you strip
Oh.
it, then you gotta stick it in the top and screw it down. It's time consuming.
I've got one.
Of the electric.
It's not electric, but it holds the spool on the top, so you can just do point to point.
Oh well, there you go.
Like
Yeah.
squeeze it or something.
Yeah.
And it
No,
turns
it's
it.
you turn it. It's 1/4" hex, but it carries the wire with it,
Cool.
and it's got a trigger to cut the wire.
That's cool. Yeah, I got on eBay. I bought the cheap ones for $7. This cheap wire wrap tools.
And you don't need to strip it. The one of the beautiful things about the wire, it's coated with Kinex, and the post cuts through the insulation. You don't
Right.
need to strip it usually. If it's that transparent-ish insulation, look, you shouldn't need to strip it.
I saw wire wrap that they keep the insulation,
Mhm.
but I don't know if it's a special one or is the.
If it's wire wrap wire, you shouldn't need
The
to.
problem you need a square post
Yeah,
with very
Yeah.
sharp edges.
sharp edges. I don't know if you have that now.
Hmm. The standard 10
I
inch
don't
center should.
know why they would why they would put a wire cutter or a wire stripper on the.
I don't feel comfortable trying.
When you end and you want to solder it to
Conductivity,
something.
conductivity, yeah. Yeah.
It works.
I don't think
Give it a
it's-
try
You're right.
sometime.
I know
I'll
that
try it.
when
I don't think this
no
is the right
computers
one.
were made with wave wrap, and people used to work
Yeah.
Yeah.
without peeling nothing, just moving across all the matrix of cables.
Yeah. and
I don't know. You know that Andre Spears or whatever, that the Swiss guy that's on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
He says to strip it, so I don't know. He's pretty smart.
My tool has the stripper inside
Yeah,
the body.
Mhm.
Open
mine's a little blue thing. It's got this.
it. One idea is to put your nano horizontally with your pins up
Up.
to work the wire wrap without.
That means I would have to find a different case or a different holder to hold it.
Looks good.
It-
But this isn't the same wire as what I've got for my wire wrap
Oh,
stuff.
no, that's not. No.
Mine has a transparent-ish sheath.
Okay. No, that it feels like regular wire to me.
Mm-hmm.
It strips like
you
regular
bought a
wire.
kit or what?
No, I bought a spool
Each
and I bought a tool.
spool.
Okay, silly question, but why don't you remove the cover off the camera?
There's no cover on it.
The plastic and peel.
Because I keep touching it with my
I
finger.
keep it also.
I keep touching
I
it with
keep
my
it until
finger.
last test. I always.
No wonder he's blind.
I,
Gee whiz, you got sunglasses on.
I
your
actually
damn
thought
thing.
about that. I mean, how many fingerprints are in that little piece of plastic because I
Yeah.
keep touching the stupid thing?
Oh, what you can't see. That's what I think. You need to know what he's seeing.
He could see an Aruka that big at a quarter mile without that.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, you are losing something for sure.
No.
Oh, okay. We can pull it off. I don't care. I just left it on because I kept touching it. You know, if you keep touching it.
You will have to test it without it on there. You got to do that. You have to do
Why
that.
is this out of
Because
man?
A Q-tip and a little cleaner will keep it all
Everything
clean.
inside.
gosh, gotta pick on me for some stuff, right?
You got
I
sunglasses.
was lucky I found a decent spot to mount that stupid thing.
Imagine a truck in the highway with this kind of things.
Yeah. Well, it spun and knocked the markers over and pulled the markers along with it. So
I believe a small amount of code for that complexity.
it's actually once you understand the PID loops, it actually was pretty easy to make it work.
Where you bought the wire?
AliExpress.
Express.
Yeah.
Then you were waiting for a month.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
It's a good idea to use.
Oh.
In a movie
You know all of the fight and hate I've had with the robots losing wires or whatever. Wire wrap, just I don't know
And-
why we really stopped using it. It's just awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome.
And if you want to make it more permanent, you come behind and
With a
tap it
little
with
dot of
solder and you're
solder,
done. And then it'll never come off, even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That's the mechanical connection they talk about.
I've thought about it. I mean, you could easily go back and hit that with solder and just
Mhm.
be done with it. But my tool is extremely manual,
Mhm.
and my tool is that thing, and
Yep.
it went up in
yeah.
price.
Oh,
This is the first one I
Wow.
used. Yeah.
oh yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, it went up in
This is
price.
the
'cause
cost. This is the price.
I didn't pay that. I paid
That's-
like $7 for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I- Those you can still find cheaper than that.
Too much.
$7 was, I thought, was a lot for what that is, but that was the best price I found, was like $7. And this the wire, which the wire was cheap.
All come together.
Yeah, it's just a big
Ooh.
nasty spool of, you know.
Yeah,
Radiation
see,
cable.
yeah, the wire that I typically buy is more translucent than that.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
lot-
that's PVC insulation,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what we used to use, it was Kynex or Kynar,
yeah.
Kynex, I think.
Probably could find it, but
Yeah, that's
but
what I
that
think
but
I
that
bought
that
something.
that's the wire, and it was cheap-ish.
That is cheap.
And an interesting thing,
Yeah.
wire wrap for electronics is a thinner wire, 30 gauge. Wire wrap in telephone companies is 24 gauge. The posts are physically bigger as well. So the tools all change.
Interesting.
When I worked at Kings Island, Kings Island is its own city, and they have, when I worked there, they had about 800 telephones through the park, and I got to rewire about a half of them. And that was all wire wrap. They had an electric wire wrap gun.
Well, that's my new adventure is. I'm going to go back to when I get a chance all the robots that I've got sitting on the shelves and wire wrap them, because I'm tired of DuPont cables.
They look like a good idea.
It looks like a good idea. Oh, DuPont cables look like a good idea.
That's quick.
The part of the problem with the DuPont cables is once you use them so many times, they start to get really loose,
All right.
and there's no real way to tighten them back up.
Mhm.
So, anyway,
Kynar, Kynar.
Kynar.
$7.50 a spool of Ada fruit. I remember it at about $1.
$82 for free shipping. What? You gotta be kidding.
That's
30.
weird.
30 foot.
They usually come on a little spool.
Yeah.
That's what I weird. And I bought
That-
some recently. I don't know if must have got them on Amazon then. If I didn't get it from
10,
there.
10 by 30 feet.
Yeah, 300 feet of wire that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Go to Amazon. Go to Amazon real quick just to see and do this. And put Kynar in the.
That's crazy talk.
I bought some not long
I
ago.
mean,
If I didn't get it from there, I had to get it from Amazon. Oh, I might have got it from Card Express though. Express.
I can look at parts of
Yep.
it.
Yeah. That's
So the last time I used any, I bought it at Radio Shack. It was a shelf item, and it was I think $2 for the little spool.
That's not horrible, I guess. $14 for a bunch of it.
Well, that's silicon. That's
Yeah,
different
that's-
stuff.
That's different
Yeah.
stuff.
Stranded.
blue one.
39 freaking dollars.
Go to that blue one over there, that big blue spool.
This
right
one
there,
here?
Yeah. It'll show some other ones that's close.
50
That's
foot.
50 feet for $9. Here it's 100 feet for $10. I'm on, what am I on? eBay. Yeah.
That's still.
That's still a
I
lot.
don't know where I got
Yeah.
it from. I just got it from Parts.
Damn.
I don't know where I got it from Parts Express. I don't know.
Parts, they might. They carry some.
Yeah, sometimes.
No.
They don't have it.
You are
Uh,
close to this store, right?
do I? Parts Express is up in Springboro.
But you're close to that.
Yeah, more or
Is your-
less.
your radio shack?
It's right around the corner from where MCM used to be.
Okay.
So you know where it's at. MCM would have it. If MCM was around, they would have it.
How long have you been out of business? Because I used to. I don't.
Long enough to make me go, I hate that they left.
Yeah.
I miss MCM. I miss MCM every day of my life.
I miss Radio Shack.
Oh yeah, do Radio Shack.
Well, I lately, the last years, I never bought nothing, but I like to see stuff.
Yeah, that's
But that's
Oh, this is the switch. $7. What?
I know.
I push button? No way.
I bought some circuit boards.
Nope.
They don't have it either. Wow. Yeah, I bought some circuit boards.
you got to buy this stuff from China.
Yeah.
I'm not paying
This
$82.
is a store for Radio Shack?
Radio Shack. It's they're still around. They're just do online stuff now.
Yeah.
though.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think they have us. I don't know. I haven't seen
A couple of the franchise stores are still around,
Yeah.
but they are like
It's kind of amazing. I'm like amazing they still exist at
Yeah.
all.
yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
I mean,
We got all. I'm sure all of us got our start there.
We have Depco Electronics.
Yeah.
yeah.
They have a computer.
well, they no longer have two. The older
Uh-huh.
one that was the surplus,
Uh-huh.
it's now a parking lot. They just finished it up about a week ago.
A week ago,
Yep.
and now,
Now it's gone.
oh my God!
Debco Computers is still there, and they have the surplus stuff.
Okay,
And I think Deb is still selling.
they had a problem with the
Beanie
building, right? Something about safety, or they need to.
So the city of Norwood has been salivating over that building for years. When they blighted that area and forced everybody to move, they went to court and said, no, we're running a business here. We've been running a business for years.
We
We
want to
have,
stay here,
yeah, and
and then
I mean, it was
there was a.
neat. I went to court with them on
Okay.
that. It was
No way.
it was ugly, and yeah, and the city just hated them. If for 3 years, if you drove by there, it was an empty lot with one house in the middle, and the guy that had that one house just absolutely refused to move, and they were right on the edge, and they modified the plans to go around Debco, and now I don't know why they leveled the building. I haven't been in. I haven't talked with Debbie for quite a while, but yeah, they finally tore it down. They started tearing it down probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I went by this morning, and it's a parking lot.
They,
Oh my God.
they probably got offered the right amount for it finally or something.
As a parking lot, that building is only good for about 20 spaces.
Like the song, Paradise and Parking Lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put up a sign and tore down a parking lot or something. Yeah.
That's the reverse. That's the reverse.
Okay.
Radio Shack's still pretty expensive though.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Before I went to and got my little printed circuit boards made up for my ESP8266s, I bought they have like these little pref boards.
Oh, yeah,
And, yeah. I get those and I can solder on those, and they had like a continuous like ground plane going around.
I still have several.
else.
I bought my perf boards from China.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can buy
I bought
$2 or $3, 10 of them.
I
Yeah.
I bought like a stack of them.
Double
but
side.
I can't get the good
Metallized
configuration
rolls.
though.
I bought a stack of them. There were probably 30 of them for I think
Yeah,
$5.
but it's
So
metallized.
were they single holes, or did they have multiple trays that connected like several?
It was single hole.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the
But there are some that are like strips.
Like
Yeah.
strips, yeah.
I didn't find I like
put
the
in
square
PCBs.
the square pads. I like them because you can put
In Radio
surface
Shack?
mount
Yeah,
components.
yeah, yeah.
So Debco sells a 3x5 board
Come on, let's
with
see. PCBs.
solders.
Come on.
copper
There.
trace around each pad.
Okay, what do they call them? Maybe you have to spell it out. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah.
Radio Shack sells Adafruit stuff. Okay.
Everyone has different stuff.
It's prep boards, man. Yeah, that's not the one.
Mauser, DigiKey.
Yeah, they have some with that has multiple continuous trace
Once
for over
I go
three.
to the
Like,
smartphone place
yeah.
and bought several stuff, and then went to Mauser or DigiKey
No,
and
yeah.
went another stuff different from different. And I paid both shipping, but then I find out that all the stuff on a smartphone is also in DigiKey, you know.
Yeah. DigiKey got a lot of crap, man. You can't. But you just
I could
the
say-
problem with DigiKey is like you get wore out searching through all the.
Yeah.
It's like just wore out.
Yeah, DigiKey has everything.
Yeah.
Good luck finding it.
I know.
I used to go to Mauser first. I like
There,
Mauser.
yeah, there was
Even
one of
Mauser
them.
is
I
even
like the
like that.
basic, you know.
There was one of them, I ordered some DIN rail
Yeah.
modules at, and then I cannot find those DIN rails again. I cannot.
I
Find
know
them.
that's the problem. I
It's-
know.
I typed in exactly the same thing and they're not there. It's like,
It's like insane. You get wore out. It's like, oh my god.
And you don't remember the part number?
of course not.
Yeah.
I've got the
And
I've got the
the
order.
brand- the
I
brand-
probably could find it by the part number because I got the order.
Maybe that they're no longer dealing with that manufacturer, so yeah.
Yeah,
The green ones, green color,
the green ones.
plastic, green,
No, the green ones are ones that I printed.
okay.
The
No, but there is a brand that said a lot of stuff about DIN rail mounting.
yeah,
We
the
used to use all Wago stuff.
No, but it's
WAGO.
another brand that use everything is green. All the boxes are
oh yeah yeah
I don't remember the name. It's
like
from
yeah.
Germany or something. Well, we used to be from Germany because most Germans do the stuff in China now. But
The-
it's, Phoenix Contact or something. They have all kind of boxes, enclosures, and terminal blocks and everything.
I
PHONYX or
see if I can find it.
Phoenix Contact. Enclosures.
I'm not happy with the DIN rail, the DIN terminals that I ended up with anyway. I'm going to have to reorder different ones,
This
but
is supposed to be Phoenix. Yeah.
This kind of DIN rail mounting stuff.
you guys will enjoy this. This is my helper. She is
A flashback.
And this is my computer.
no.
She's 30 years old now, right?
Right.
Because she's flashback.
Right.
Back to the basics.
Yeah.
To the basic.
Well, I mean, she's actually kind of sitting there acting like she's actually typing. I caught it And once she saw me taking pictures, that was it. I caught it at the right time.
When our oldest son was about 3 or 4 years old, he was playing. He was playing with the computer, and he asked how to make something go away. And I said, press Control A if you want everything to go away, or select what you want, and press the delete key. And my wife got so upset. He doesn't understand, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he understands.
that's my boy.
The rail adapters, they used to have everything in green color.
Here you go, Marcus.
Now they use gray for
Yeah. Oh, that's what you mean. You put it. Oh, you squared it. Oh, right.
Yeah, at one point I actually had all 4 of them connected, and it
this
would.
this is
it would.
bicolor or what? You
No,
are using.
I bought green ones and blue ones, and I
You
pulled
are
the
mixing
green.
them.
I pulled 2 of the green ones
Don't do
off and
that.
2 of the blue ones off.
You can miss that.
What do you mean I can mess it
Bad
up?
for your eye.
It doesn't care what color it is. But that's I hooked it up. Your clock program actually does the seconds. If you had enough to display
Right.
it.
That's exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But it would go clear around the whole thing. It would do the whole thing without making a whole lot of changes. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I took it apart because that's not what I was really trying to do. You know, you do stuff just to see if it can be done sometimes. Sometimes that's the way it works.
I made a box for my.
Oh, wire.
No white rabbit. This is for.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. That's solid copper wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's cute.
have you seen that?
I have not seen that.
Just,
That's what ultimately this is going to go. So this is a lot closer to.
this is a simulation.
That's
I'd be
it.
impressed if that little camera can track
That's
something
neat.
at any distance.
Well, you said 12 feet, right?
Yeah.
12 feet. That's pretty good.
Well, in my office, I have a very low light, and I have one sign of this size in the opposite corner, and it detects it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And with the peel on, with the plastic.
It's bringing us pizza.
Yeah.
That was our first actual real
Field test or what?
our practical use example of what it could practically do.
Very good.
Yeah, well,
Run away with your pizza.
run away with our pizza.
Stop.
I can't find. I'm looking. Oh, this. No, that's a video. I'm looking for a picture of the den rim.
I bought 2 pounds of these candies from Amazon. Was this the smaller
Yeah.
amount?
But guess what? Next week you can give it all away.
So I'm not real happy with those den rail things. I ordered those, but I think I should have ordered screw terminals instead of
Right.
push terminal thingamabobs. But this little green thing that you can't see, and these green things I printed because I couldn't find any other.
Hmm.
and Mark's working on a second version of this chassis anyway. Oh yeah, we saw this guy cruising down the road and he stopped at Walmart. He has a ton of vintage toys attached to his car.
And Walmart fits.
He's got everything possible. It'd be a bingo sign.
Yeah.
We went to North Carolina.
Smurfs.
Decided to go to get breakfast at, I don't know, probably Waffle House. Some guy pulls up in a Volvo, climbs up on the roof, pulls out a guitar, and starts singing at the top of his lungs. It was interesting. Yeah, and his Volvo looked like that. It had stuff all over it. It was all political. I have no idea what he wanted. It was just uncomfortable.
You're strange. You're a strange species.
So. Well.
This is the dispenser of the soldier past.
I just gotta stop over one day just see all the junk you got. I'll probably be there 2 days. He'd be showing her like, okay, this. God.
This is all the junk. This is more junk. There's junk on top of
That's
junk.
right. There's junk for junk.
That's
Yeah, I
cool.
saw that
This
one.
is the
That's the
reader.
one I saw. That. So that's the
TV
updated.
receiver.
That's
Gonna
yeah.
be,
You
Those
notice
are
that nothing's
in-
even
and
mounted. I
right
mean, the
infrared,
ESP32 is just hanging there.
Mhm.
They are fighting.
is that the original frame that you showed with the
Okay.
pizza?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's.
Yes.
So you're reading a
So we
serial.
were going backwards in time. So now we're
Yes,
going.
but
we're
I
digressing.
assembled the
We're-
bike.
Oh, that's diagram.
Yeah.
Oh, so the other one's
Because
actually
I fired one.
that what you just showed
The
in the
second-
warehouse.
It's
Cool.
that same one.
Okay.
It's the exact same one.
Okay.
This was just like
And-
early
so if
tests
this
to
is
make
on a
one of the
VCR,
wheels
So
actually
you're
do something.
This is a receiver of
Because-
But you just showed
These
these
pictures.
pictures. I thought this was just
so you're
the last-
blinking these at 38
Yeah.
kilohertz.
month
Yeah,
or
but I
so.
use the.
Yeah.
They're doing.
Okay, so that other
the timer
version was after
to
this.
generate the.
Yeah,
So the other thing
the
was
one
that-
with the robot
I
on
was-
it.
How many
The one with the
flashes
pizza.
per
The
die?
one with the
Yeah,
the one with the robot,
Per-
the
per
one with
month,
the pizza.
Right.
It's the same
12
chassis
flashes.
as this,
Okay.
At 38
only
kilohertz.
you know
Okay.
it made its progress
Right.
to
Right now,
actually
in the one in the
have
warehouse.
Okay, you can still
Same
move
one.
that along
Okay.
pretty quick then.
Yeah.
without
it's,
the round table on
Okay.
top of it.
200 scans per second,
We
more or less. But I programmed the timer.
I
and
I
used the
didn't
common
I
of all the
didn't
legs.
necessarily
Is
need the table
square
on it,
signal.
but Mark wanted to see it
And
with
I use turn on
with
and
the
off
table on
each
it.
LED because the other
And I got
side
the
is
table
driving
now.
by the square weight. You know?
But
Mhm.
Mark
I just put
has
one,
redesigned the
and
chassis based
it
on
will
some of
be
the
on
things
and off.
we
when I put
learned
zero,
here.
the other side is
So the
still
next
moving,
version,
be common,
the version
but
that will
doesn't
have the camera on
pass
it,
energy because
will be
you have
it'll
zero.
actually be a smaller, but I think it's going to be taller.
It's a dial, you know,
Yeah.
a LED.
Yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, I guess
the common is
before you implement it,
changing
you're
from
gonna change the
Okay.
zero
camera
to one all
launch
the time, and
Yeah,
the positive
you have
have to
to.
a 1 or a 0,
Why?
because that camera you
turn
already
on
showed
the
that
frequency
camera's
or turn off
limitations here.
everything because you.
So
put
you
RAM
gotta go
at
with
the top
something
of
that's
the anode,
some more
of the
expensive
dial,
or a lens or
RAM.
something.
Mhm.
Nothing
You know what I'm
happens.
saying? I mean, just
Automatically
because
you are moving.
The
Right.
range for
But this-
that.
This is common for all the LEDs.
Oh.
Is the
I,
the output of the
I'm
oscillator.
going to have to figure out what he did because he got 12 foot off that same camera.
And
No kidding.
different
Oh.
pulse
So-
diagram, turning on and off
Okay.
each.
Well, he took the plastic off.
You see?
Yeah, try it without the plastic.
God, everybody wants to give me a hard time about the plastic.
Well, you gotta test it. You gotta do it. Even if you assume that it's not gonna make a difference, you still gotta do it.
Well, it'll make a difference because the plastic has nothing but fingerprints on it. I mean, all right.
Okay.
Which ones do we want to put up?
We don't care. We just
The little ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I need that one. That one's probably gonna need to be turned.
Which way?
I don't know. That one's probably gonna need to be turned. Look, no difference.
There, you look. We got one. That's one over there. We got one. Ah.
Yeah.
No, I want you. I want you. This, okay.
Yeah, see, it's not seeing. It's just not seeing.
Hmm.
It'll follow it to the end of. It should stop. And now it should flip back around to C1 again. Should stop. Yeah. Got a little close to it that time, didn't you? You didn't really stop either, did you? If it's catching it at that weird angle, it still has a problem.
See, that's the thing. You gotta find out what that thing is seeing. You gotta somehow. It's just you just don't. No.
You look about as confused as.
Is it home?
Yeah, it's home.
Do it again.
Just hit the reset button on the nano. Well, that's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, don't put them on a flag outside in a windy day.
We're back.
Wow, that's pretty impressive stuff.
Move a little bit. Maybe.
Do what?
Make for move. Try to.
It should, as long as it doesn't get close enough, it should follow it the whole entire time.
Now it's looking for the nest, right? There.
See, that's I think it's higher. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Maybe it needs to be higher.
I think it's higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these are all good tests
Always.
because it's working, ish.
Let's see, look at home with this.
But the original was on a servo, so it was doing pan and tilt.
Was he looking for? Is he home or looking for
He should be trying to find. What are you doing?
That was weird.
That
That was. We're looking at you.
Come on. Oh, come on. Follow me. Follow me. Okay, we're gonna stop, I guess.
It's working.
I think it's
Here, do
working.
it one more time.
Do it one more time.
Yeah, give me one. Give me one.
Give you one.
You can have two. Give me one. Okay.
All
I
right.
want to see.
No. Help.
Oh, I got it. Over here.
Is it the
Is this
second?
turned to right?
This is the second one.
This is
That's
one.
number one.
I got it turned over.
Should be the same.
What's going on?
Oh, you got one. Cheating.
I did cheat.
You know what? You need white around the
Oh, you think
the
of the
black
top?
thing. You don't have white over
Oh,
there.
okay.
This is what doesn't work.
Does it do a multiplication process?
You need a white border, at least of this white all around,
Okay.
and you don't have it in the.
It's got a little bit of it.
You know how it actually tells? Is it?
You need to do something like that. Is it the one
That's not the right one.
I got
That's
two.
the one that it should be looking for right now.
Oh, it's not two? What do you got, two?
It should be two.
Okay.
I think we're confusing them. It's confused. There's too many twos.
No,
I thought it was looking for two.
you need to stop in the first one. What are you looking?
What are you looking for?
Oh, it's trying to go home. Okay, we're gonna have to put a screen
You
on it.
need a wireless debugging
Yeah, you
thing,
do.
you
You
know?
really do. Okay.
your phone or something.
Here's the recommendations. Either a display, you gotta put a display so you know the status and what it's doing at the time.
or send.
You really, because that's what I mean. You're going blind. I mean, I ran into the same thing when I was doing all the IoT thing, and I said,
You need to know what's going on.
yeah, you
Yes.
really, yeah, you got some. You need feedback.
I am not disagreeing. It's just all of a sudden it makes sense now.
Yeah. Hey, you know.
Actually, honestly, sitting up, talking to him while I'm recoding it and doing stuff, I saw other additional problems that I fixed
Right.
while I was sitting there. But I was like today, like when it saw one and then it saw one behind it.
Right.
Like I actually fixed a similar problem where if you block this, but you could see a different target behind it, not the same target that it was looking for, a different target, it would stop tracking this one and it would go off and track the second target. So I fixed that, but I didn't conceive of actually having the same number.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's right.
But I'm not sure how you would fix that either, because it's got to track with the number.
Yeah, I mean, unless it has some special, unless you code it some other different way, because if it's, I mean, it's basically looking for the same thing. I mean, it's just because somebody else put another one there,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And I don't know in the grand scheme of things, would it really matter?
Well, if Mark does what Mark is talking about, they probably would only get 50 markers anyway. So it would probably only be the set 0 through 49.
Right.
So, or 0 through 100. I guess you could have 100 of these things. But that's a discussion for later.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing once once you used up all your markers, you're pretty much done anyway.
Why would you use them all? What? I mean, how are you going to reuse them? I mean, what is the? I mean, in a facility that the thing's going to be moving around, I would guess. I mean, you know.
Well,